So there seems to be a common want I hear from people, and it's them saying, I just wish my employees would take more ownership. I understand the frustration, but I think we're asking the wrong question. Ownership isn't something you just demand, it's something that you develop, right? So think about your own career. When have you cared the most about your work? Was it when someone was constantly watching over your shoulder? Probably not, right? It was probably when you understood the mission, when you felt trusted, when your ideas mattered, when you knew your work made a difference. Ownership grows in environments where people feel responsible for the outcome, not just responsible for completing the task. There's a big difference. People can complete tasks without ever feeling connected to the mission. As leaders, our job isn't just assigning work. Our job is helping people understand why that work matters. Here's another mistake I see a lot, and that sometimes leaders say they want ownership, but they won't actually allow it. Right, so they micromanage every decision. They correct every small mistake. They require approval for everything. Then they wonder why nobody takes initiative. If every decision has to come back to you, your team will eventually stop making decisions. Not because they can't, but because you've unintentionally taught them not to. Now, like, honestly, let's I'll be clear. That ownership doesn't mean people just get to do whatever they want. Ownership still requires standards. It still requires accountability. It still requires clear expectations. But within those boundaries, people should have room to think, to solve problems, to improve the process, to contribute. That's where ownership begins. If you want more ownership from your team, ask yourself a few questions. Do people understand the mission? Do they know why their work matters? Do they have the authority to solve problems? Do they feel trusted? And when they take initiative, do I recognize it? People rarely take ownership in environments where every idea is dismissed or every mistake is punished. They take ownership where leaders create trust, clarity, and opportunity. So, for this challenge, instead of asking, why don't my employees just take ownership? Ask yourself, what have I done to create an environment where ownership can grow? Because ownership isn't something leaders force. It's something great leaders inspire. Thanks for watching. This is another Hydelogix Leadership Minute. Better thinking, better leaders, better futures.